today's society, we are constantly bombarded by things competing for our loyalty. Whether it's a political leader explaining how he or she can rescue us from our current economic crisis, or a protest group exhorting us to join in the fight against the powers that be, it is clear that every day that we step outside of our houses, we are faced with countless examples of peoples and movements who want us to throw our lot in with them and follow their example. Now, in no way am I saying that we should be silent spectators as others grapple with the issues that affect society. But I am saying that we have to be sober-minded enough so that we make sure that the kingdom agenda is the first thing on our agenda. I'm saying that in a world full of noise and distractions, we have to make sure that the examples that we follow are those that help us grow in Christian character and lead to life. Are you with me? Last night, the television station, Black Entertainment Television, also known as BET, aired its 6th annual Hip Hop Awards. Stay with me. One of the trademarks of this award show is the rap cipher. For those unfamiliar with this concept, a cipher is when different rappers or MCs take turns rapping over the same beat. It's similar to what we have here tonight. On this pulpit, we have assembled different preachers preaching about the same God over the same gospel beat. In many ways, we can call this a gospel cipher. I just threw that in parenthetically. But as I was admiring the lyrical talent of these different rappers, I noticed everyone was rapping about the same thing. Every creative wordplay or stylistic simile was filled with references to self-glorification, money, sex, or drugs. In addition, most of the popular rappers had their own clique, and as they rapped, their clique or posse cheered them on. So these rappers served as the leader or examples that his or her group followed. Moreover, in the realm of social media, whenever a particular rapper rapped on the cipher or won an award, their followers would begin to update their Facebook statuses and Twitter accounts voicing their support. Are you with me? All I'm trying to say is that either knowingly or unknowingly, we are constantly bombarded by things and people competing for our loyalty. And as Christians, we constantly have to sift through the debris in order to set our eyes on examples that will lead to life and not death and destruction. And that is exactly what Paul was trying to do in our text tonight. In our text, Paul, the great gospel advocate, was trying to encourage the church in Philippi to cultivate their Christian character, persevere in the midst of trials, and be unified in the faith. In doing this, Paul uses countless examples of individuals who are worthy to be emulated. First and foremost, Paul uses the example of the model par excellence, Jesus, who is the Christ. Then he turns to the example of faithfulness illustrated by Timothy and Epaphroditus. Lastly, Paul says, be imitators of me and those who walk like me. And he grounds this exhortation in the very fact that there are others walking amongst the Philippians who are examples that lead to destruction. Are you with me? Examples who are the enemies of the cross of Christ. And that's a word for us tonight, that in the midst of all this reality TV and in the midst of all this noise and debris in our society, there are examples of people who unashamedly lead us away from Christ. There are examples and influences in our daily interactions that will only lead us to destruction. So as I watched this hip hop award cipher, I heard many messages that lead to destruction. I heard many messages that proclaimed a God of the belly and worldly mentalities. Yet, in the midst of all these messages, there was this one Christian hip-hop artist by the name of Lecrae Moore. He was given a turn to showcase his skills. And in the midst of darkness, a light shine. A light that proclaimed the gospel of Jesus Christ. A light that shined that proclaimed the futility of whips and iced out necklaces. A light that shined that proclaimed the Savior with resurrection swag. A light that provided an alternative example to the examples of death and destruction. So I stand here, my brothers and sisters, in the line with our brother Lecrae, but even more so in line with the Apostle Paul. As I ponder my own call to pastoral ministry, I have come to one resolve in my life. It would be great if I could preach sermons that set people to the altar in streams. It would be great if I had a worldwide ministry that reaches the masses. But more than all these things, I wanted my life to be a walking epistle. I want to be able to say, follow me as I follow Christ. I just want to be a beacon of light that can help people navigate past the roads of destruction. I want my life to remind people that our citizenship is in heaven and our hope is in a Savior who will one day transform our lowly body. I just want to be an example that leads to life. An example of faithfulness like Timothy, of self-sacrifice like Epaphroditus, of pressing towards the mark like Paul, but more importantly, an example of humility like Christ. If I can help someone as I pass along, if I can cheer someone with a word of a song, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my life will be an example that leads to life.